Yeah, I think he's grown a lot. I think that like the one guy said earlier, that we've went through some hard times at the Woody, some hard times in Columbus, as a team and as a family. So I think that that naturally is gonna change you a little bit. It's gonna make you look at things a little different. And I think that one thing Coach Day's done a great job at is not changing who he is. I think that Coach Day, he's a phenomenal guy on and off the field, and regardless of the heat he took, fair or not, he remained the same and remained humble and confident in who he is. So that was big for us to see, and it was great for us to follow his lead on that.
For him to give up play calling duty is a big part of how he's made his name as a coach.
Yeah.
What do you think that says about him and the way he obviously thinks that's the best change for the program? He's sort of putting the program in front of himself. What does that say about him?
Yeah, I think it says a lot. I think it says that he's confident in the guys that he's hired around him to help him lead the offense. Chip Kelly being one of his mentors early on in his coaching career, having him come, I think that helped him and him giving his offense up, because it's kind of like giving away your baby, because he was such a good play caller for so long. But him identifying stuff that he needed to change and then following through with it has been huge, and it's going to help our team in a tremendous way.
Wisconsin native. What have you seen from him in the spring after his first season in the offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, Carson Hinman is a phenomenal player. I think Carson Hinman's got a lot of great football ahead of him. A super hard worker, really humble kid, and I'm excited to see how he does in fall camp. I'm really excited. He had a great offseason. Like I said, he's one of the hardest working guys on the team, so I'm really excited to see what he does this fall camp.
Yeah, how did the loss to Missouri kind of change the psyche of the defense, the team, and the offense in particular?
Yeah, I think that that loss to Missouri was a hard one to take. They're a phenomenal. Not taking anything away from them, they're a great team and had a lot of great players. But in the sense of that, we had a chance to win the game on defense and we didn't. That kind of stings. And I think we pretty much had them locked up for the whole game up until the end of the third quarter, where they hit a big deep shot. It's kind of like the sword in our back. So it was depleting for us, and I think that gave us more fuel to come back and to get better than we were before.
Jack, focus on knowing that you had 3 sacks. It's kind of hard to improve that. So what did you focus on?
Yeah, I mean, even though I had 3 sacks, there's a lot of things that I could have been better at in that game to help my team, and obviously we didn't win, so it's kind of all for naught. I'm just focused on becoming the best player I possibly can be, week in and week out. Working on everything in every part of my game, from the pass rush to the run stopping. So, I can say confidently that as a defensive line, as a defense, we're looking as best as we ever have. So.
I feel like something clicked for you personally at the end of last year, Jack. It seemed like you're playing good all year. Maybe I'm not off of my assessment. You feel like something clicked for you?
Yeah, I think that I think a lot of people forget that. I didn't really play a whole lot of football my freshman and sophomore year. I played a good amount of snaps, but I think for everybody it's different. For me, as the more plays I played and the more games got under my belt, the more confident I felt. And I think by the middle of the year, I kind of just said, I can play at this level with anybody. I'm just going to let it fly. And I think after that, I haven't looked back, and I'm looking forward to carrying that into this season.
When you were lining up around as much last year, with Jack, like the
yeah.
Year, did that help? Just playing the one position?
Yeah, I think that playing just defense, getting back to just defensive end helped, definitely did. That's where I feel comfortable. That's where I feel like I excel at. So getting back to just that definitely helped. And but the first couple of years I was willing to do anything to help the team win.
When you were lining up in those situations with pass rusher more often last year, could you feel what were some of the things you were doing maybe as the year progressed that you could tell were sort of contributing to your ability to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, I think that my confidence just kept growing and growing. When you start making plays, it helps. And I feel like early in the year, there's a lot of plays that I could have made, and I was just a step away, or you know what I mean. I'd leave games like, man, I was this close to having a couple sacks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just staying true and then going to work and not getting your head down or getting frustrated and letting it affect the way you carry on to the next couple of weeks. I think that speaks to kind of a lot of us in the program. A lot of us, have started playing our best football towards the end of last season, like Jordan Hancock, and obviously Lathan Ransom got injured but was playing great football last year before he did. Denzel had another great year last year, bouncing back from his sophomore year. So, when you look at our defense as a whole, we're all growing in the right direction, playing our best ball. And we were already one of the best defenses in the country last year, so I think that this year, our motto and our standard of silver bullets is to be the best. So that's what we're going on trying to put on the field.
On those plays where you were like a smidge, like those almost would be sacks, like were you just what happened? Were you just like almost there, and like it took like just having more comments to finish the play?
I think I think it kind of goes. Sometimes the flow of the game, doesn't really flow your way. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's not a lot of plays to be had, and sometimes it is just making a play when it's there for the taking. So I think it's a little bit of both.
All you guys, especially the veterans, are dealing, bracing for pressure. How different is it for you as a Columbus guy?
Yeah.
You can't escape. You can't go to every
Right. I mean, for me, I love it. I love that the Columbus, takes Ohio State football so seriously, because it's what I grew up doing. I grew up going to school 3rd and 4th grade, and that's all we talked about was Ohio State football. What happened that the previous weekend, or we can't believe that this or this didn't happen. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of what I grew up doing. So to me, I don't know anything else. I don't know anything different. I know for a lot of these guys, I can't believe how serious people, no matter where or what you do around Columbus, people always want to come up and say something. But it just speaks on the position we're in, how blessed we are, and how cool is it, would it be to tell your younger self, especially for me when I was this big, that one day you're going to start for Ohio State at defensive end. It would have been a dream come true.
You were one of the guys, maybe the guy that when Denzel would come, or people from all over the country, and not be told what it's like, but not experience it, say, hey, I'm from here. This is real.
Yeah, I mean, I try to tell these guys that, that's the way it is. And they're like, yeah, like, I'm used to it. Like being from back home, being a high-rated recruited guy, or, maybe when they go back home now, having, being a starter in a college football program. But they didn't understand how it was being in Columbus and playing for the Buckeyes. I think a lot of them have caught them off guard. And so it's been fun. It's been funny to see their reactions to it.
Jack, as a former 5-star recruit, came in early, you did all the stuff you were supposed to do. You saw the runway it takes to get to this point now. As a defensive lineman, we haven't really heard your opinion on Jeremiah Smith. What is it about him that makes him maybe different than you were as a 5-star recruit coming in early? What have you seen that makes him special?
There's a lot of things I can list. That kid is just special. I mean, that's the only word I can use to describe him. Having been in his shoes, meaning being a 5-star recruit and having a lot of hype surrounding him coming in, I was like, man, I just want to see him, practice a couple times. I don't want him to feel like, if he doesn't play this year, or if he doesn't live up to the hype his freshman year, then, but then I saw him for the first time at the first practice. I was like, holy shit, this kid's good. So, he's a great young player. He's got a great future ahead of him. He's got a great head on his shoulders, very humble kid. So whatever he gets, he's earned and he's worked for. So I'm super excited for him.
Jack, you're obviously on the defensive side of the ball with Ryan on the other side. You trust Chip, he said. Obviously.
Well, he said what?
So you trust Chip, he said.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And just, from what you've seen about him kind of coming in and play calling and that, how do you think they're changing things offensively for you guys? What have you seen from the defensive side of the ball? What's your impression?
Yeah, I think Chip Kelly brings a good little change up to what Coach Day's already doing. Being on the defense side of the ball, I can't really talk too much to how much he's going to change. I haven't really seen too much, but I do know that he likes to run the football. Likes to play tough. He's got a bunch of different wrinkles and plays that he likes to run and install. So it's going to be fun to see how he elevates this offense because we got the pieces and it's going to be really exciting to see what they do on that side of the ball this year. Oh man, that's tough. I think since we play him, definitely Dylan Gabriel of Oregon. I think that's definitely got to be up there just because we're playing Oregon and he's a great quarterback. He's had a good career and they got a really great team. So if I had to pick one, it'd be him.
Jack, you've been doing a lot of credit for a lot of these veteran guys who come back this year. Coach Day mentioned it during his presser. Is there a specific approach or pitch that you had for some of the other guys who have gone to the NFL for them to come back for 2024?
For me, I just told those guys, look, man, when we came to Ohio State, we had all these goals and aspirations to achieve, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I want to go to the NFL and chase my dream of that more than the next guy. But before we can chase that, you know, we had something bigger at stake. You know, something bigger than ourselves. Coach Day always talks about is leaving your legacy at the Ohio State. You know, becoming one of the best teams to ever come through here. And my conversations to them were, if we all decided to come back for our senior year, imagine the things that we could achieve. There's nothing we couldn't achieve. So I think that was my sales pitch, is that, look, if we all decide to come back together, that, you know, we're coming back to beat the team up north, win a national championship, win a Big Ten championship. So to me, that was the selling point to those guys.
What's it going to take for you to feel good about your legacy, all those things?
What is that again? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, what's it going to take for you to feel good about the legacy you're going to leave? Is it all those goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all those goals. You know, we came back for one last ride, and we got one last shot to do those things, you know, because we haven't done it. Unfortunately, we haven't done any of those things since I've been here. So I think that, you know, when we raise our heads after the season, you know, if we completed all three of those things, it would have been a success.
Mecca has said that you guys haven't really won anything yet.
Right.
How much of that is fueling this offseason, this preseason you're going to go into, and then this season overall?
Yeah, I mean, it fuels us every day. You know, I think, you know, I wake up and thinking about it. I think about it every day. You know, I haven't won a championship. I haven't beat the team up north, and you know, you walk around the Woody and all you see is championships and championship posters and banners, and haven't been here for 3 years and not helped our team and this organization win any of those. You know, it's something that wears on me, and it's something that motivates me every day.
Jack, who's the guy along the defensive line that maybe people aren't talking about now, but the season's like what
I think one of the most underrated players on our team is Ty Hamilton at nose guard. I think that if you go back and watch his tape, you won't see anybody play as physical, play as hard, and you know, do the things that he does on a play-to-play basis, taking a double team, you know, knocking the center back 3 yards, making them have to bounce, and then, you know, easy cleanup for me, myself, JT, or a linebacker. So I think Ty Hamilton's due for a really big year, and I'm excited to see him get some of the props that he deserves. I didn't even do that on purpose. Maybe I did. No, but I think that, you know, we got we're so deep. We got such a great defensive line. You know, we look at the guys that are behind us. You know, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden McDonald, Hero Canoe, Taiwan. I mean, everybody, you know, on our defensive line, and those young guys are going to have great careers, you know, here at Ohio State, and a lot of those guys are going to be playing a lot of football in the NFL too.
Can I ask you about the offensive line? I just feel like I'm seeing like more and more buzz kind of about Josh Simmons and maybe the growth that he can make
Yeah.
this year, like draft people. Someone who gets to go against him in practice. How have you seen him kind of make strides over the last year or so? Yeah,
I mean, he's an athletic freak. I mean, he's one of the most explosive guys that I've been around. And I think he kind of realizes that too. And you know, he's a guy who's got really good feet for being that size. I mean, I've only gone up against a handful of guys who have feet that good, being that size. You know, one of them is Paris Johnson. So I think he's finally realized what he's capable of, and how important he is to our team's success. You know, when you got a guy that's as big and strong as he is at tackle, I mean, that can open up run lanes and shut down guys on the blind side of our quarterback. So I think that he's one of the guys where, man, he's got a lot of potential that he's tapping into right now.
Jack, what tells you that the chemistry on this team that you guys were talking about is real? And how does it show up every day, I guess? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess a common purpose. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the chemistry that we have with this team, it kind of speaks to, you know, how we all came back. I mean, you know, I think if you look around programs across the country, you know, you got 11 to 15 guys who could go pro and be drafted. You know, a lot of those guys are gonna leave and go to the pros. You know, and we all decided to come back and play another year here at Ohio State. So that in itself speaks to the brotherhood that we have with each other. But then again, just the camaraderie we have on a day-to-day basis in the weight room and outside of the Woody. And, you know, I'm really excited for you guys to be able to see, you know, how far we've come this fall.
That's enough. Sorry, we got to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.